In the heart of the night, this world will burn bright. We will set it alight. In the heart of the night, in the heart of the night, this world will burn bright. We will set it alight. In the heart of the night.
Hello everyone, I am Anthropomantic Fiend and I do horror related things on the internet, and I'm doing the review thing again. This time it's for a movie called Behind Your Eyes. It's a 2011 movie, and the basic premise is that a couple are going to visit the boyfriend's parents and they get kidnapped by a guy and tortured, and that's really all I can tell you before I get into spoilers. But I can tell you that this movie isn't going where you think it's going, fortunately, because I thought it was just going to be another torture movie, and I'm not crazy about torture movies, so this was a good movie. The acting is overall good, serviceable, I'd say, nothing super outstanding. Our leading lady is a little awkward in places, and I didn't really like her at first, but over the course of the movie, I started to like her more and more. That may have been just because of the situation she was in and liking the other characters less than I liked her, but she was awkward but good, and all the acting was good enough for what it needed to do for the movie, so I thought the movie was good. The music was the first thing that stood out to me in this film. They obviously put a lot of budget into that, and I'm fairly certain they actually have a full orchestra on this, because the music in this sounds like something out of a big budget movie, like something Danny Elfman or Howard Shore would have done. It's a really, really nice soundtrack, not with like a super recognizable theme like something from a Danny Elfman or Howard Shore, but it's really nice music, and I would definitely listen to it again. The movie looks really good, lots of grit and shadows to everything. Again, it's a very nice atmospheric movie, and this movie, plot-wise, sort of gets off to a little bit of a rocky start. I wasn't quite on board until later when things start getting interesting. I'll get to that in a minute. The movie gets off to a rocky start, and I was about to be, oh no, we're in Another Kind land again, and it's gonna be great visuals and an interesting premise, but they put budget into what the movie sounded and looked like and less into writing the script, but that's not true. I totally underestimated this movie. I thought it was amazingly done. I'm not sure if I'd watch it again, maybe, but I definitely think it's worth watching at least once, so this movie gets a thumbs up from me. Behind Your Eyes, you should definitely watch it, mostly because of the things I'm about to say and the spoiler stuff, but if you really want to appreciate this movie, you probably shouldn't listen to what I'm about to say. So, spoilery-wise, we've got the couple who are going to the parents' house, and they get kidnapped by the guy, and he starts sort of torturing them, and I was sort of concerned about, oh my gosh, what is this movie turning into, because it mostly just consists of him beating up the guy and then telling the girl to sort of, like, he just tries to get her to dance for a while at one point, and then tells her to take off her clothes at another point, and I'm just like, oh no, what's he gonna do to her? But he doesn't ever do anything to her. He just kind of beats the crap out of the guy and threatens her, and that's like the whole of what's happening. And there's a whole prologue where this girl gets murdered, which sort of made me think it was going to be a home invasion movie, and then it wasn't. I never really knew what kind of movie this was going to be, which is good. They're sort of alluding to the fact that his girlfriend was killed and that he may have done it, and he gets really angry when anybody suggests that he might have murdered her, and I'm sort of thinking, yeah, he probably didn't do it for some reason. I just sort of get that feeling about it. But somebody else did, and the reason he's kidnapped them is because he wants the leading lady to play the part of his girlfriend. And then that turns out not to be the case, because eventually they break out and they go to this, the guy's got a broken leg or something, or seems to, anyway. And she runs and finds this little log cabin and goes for help and says, please call the police for me. And there's this old woman and an old man in there, and the old woman's like, here, please sit by the fire, I'll make you a cup of tea. And already there's just something sort of weirdly archaic about the way they speak, and they're just sort of overall off. So you're already sort of sensing a sort of like Texas Chainsaw, this family isn't who they say they are type situation, except this family is super, super, super Christian. The old man, the father of the family, pretty much just speaks in like Bible quotes that are twisted to fit whatever situation he's in. He literally pretty much just speaks in Bible quotes, which is really weird. She's freaking out. She tries to escape, and then she gets whacked over the head and wakes up in the basement with the guy who had kidnapped her earlier, who proceeds to tell her all these things about her boyfriend that she doesn't want to hear. Notably that he actually had a crush on the guy, and the whole torture thing was a weird setup thing that he had done. The plot begins to unfold, and we realize that this creepy couple that we found is the father of the girl's boyfriend. The reason he's brought them here is super messed up, because he thinks he's found his calling from God, which is to, before I say anything about that, I would need to mention that he's sort of been cast out from his house by his dad, his son is gay, pretty much, and his dad catches him with another guy and is like, you're not my son anymore unless you take this woman. And he kidnaps the other guy's girlfriend, I suppose. It may have been another woman, I don't remember, but gives him to him, and he's just like, if you take this woman, you are my son in my eyes again. And instead he just kills her. So I'm not sure if that was the same woman. It probably wasn't. There's a lot of twisty little intricacies to the plot. Yeah, we discover that he's been cast out, and he sort of has found his calling from God and has brought this guy who he's had a crush on and has murdered his girlfriend to try to get her out of the way. Basically, his motive is he wants the guy, and the guy doesn't want him back, so he's just sort of taking him, and his sort of motto is, if I can't have you, nobody can. So that's pretty messed up. The girl is there as a peace offering for his father, which is super messed up. There's a scene where you just sort of hear what the dad's saying to her from the hallway, and he's talking in Bible quotes again. He sounds like Pinhead quoting the Bible. It's just like, I'm going to show you all this suffering. You are a witch, and I will not suffer you to live, and I will bring all these things down upon you. And it's just weird and awkward and creepy, and guy and girl break out. Well, girl unfortunately gets stuck, left behind, and then guy manages to escape and come back for her, and pretty much they end up just killing the whole family and escaping. And that's the end of the movie. There was one little funny bit at the end where the woman, his mother, has tried to stop them from escaping, and the girl, the leading lady, don't remember her name, I think her character's name is Erica, throws a pot of like bean soup that's on the stove in her face, and it burns her. And so they've come back, and you just sort of see her face down in the bed, and she's like crying and humming some hymn to herself, and you just see the guy look at her and just go, that's creepy. And I don't know, I thought that was funny. Behind Your Eyes. I don't know why it's called Behind Your Eyes, but I thought it was a good movie, and I recommend that you watch it. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. I can't words today.